Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, John Cena, and today we're going to be doing a clan 2v2 battle. I'm going to be the blue Confederate player, my ally Dr. Kaffu is going to be the green Confederate player. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be facing off against two resistance players on this map here, and we've got an exciting matchup lined up. So let's get into it. We see some early game aggression from the resistance side. Red trying to secure the resources, but I was able to help Dr. Kaffu with getting those resources on the map. So Dr. Kaffu, we can see, is teching up to HQ3 at this time. Is dropping down a couple defensive structures. Looks like Red is going to go for the early game rush here. We see some armadillos and coyotes in play here. That rocket tower looks like has the triple rocket, so it's pretty strong for sure. Dr. Kaffu definitely trying to defend off this attack with the towers. That bunker is going to go down most likely though. And it looks like the resistance side is smart. They are microing their units to try and take out the power at the edges of Kaffu's base. We can see on the mini-map that I have a Cyclone that's getting a scout onto the yellow player's base, and I'm going to move on to the red player's base shortly. But this resistance rush here continuing to slowly but surely cripple Dr. Kaffu. Kaffu is in a little bit of a tough spot right now. My Cyclone, meanwhile, is finished scouting the red player. Looks like Red is committing into this rush here. So if we can defend off this rush here, I think that'll put us in a good position to win this game potentially. So we can see reinforcements continuing to stream in from Kaffu. I'm producing units at this time to help defend. So you can see a hammer tank coming in, another hammer tank coming in. I got a Cyclone as well. Kaffu's got dual rocket towers as well. So Red is a little bit limited in how far they can go in terms of this rush. And we're slowly starting to whittle down the numbers here. And it looks like the resistance side is going to retreat. I've got my first Vertex out. Vertex is going to come in, score a nice hit on that armadillo. So my plan for this game is to go for an aviation build. So I've very recently been working on the upgrades for my Thors, and I want to test out my Thors in another engagement here and just get a feel for them. So Vertex just scoring some hits onto the vehicles there. Gonna score one more hit on that armadillo, and then my Vertex is potentially gonna retreat at this time. I think it's almost out of fuel. Scores one more hit on the armadillo, and now the Vertex is gonna pull back, and it retreated, and there we go. So I'm just continuing to produce more units there. I've got some heavy assaults there. I'm gonna move them in to try and secure this resource container. Yellow was very smart though. They decided to just wait with a bunch of jaguars and porcupines, and my heavy assaults just get decimated by this force here. Very smart move by the yellow player. My Vertex comes in, scores a direct hit onto those porcupines. My Vertex are not going to leave unscathed though. I did lose one of my Vertex. Looks like yellow is now going to retreat now that they've taken the resources there. So just continue to tech up now. Starting to get some Avia factories out and upgrading them so I can get some Thors out. And now I'm going to go for mass Thors with a little bit of ground for defense as needed. We can see that yellow is HQ4. They're going for heroes, so we will potentially see a Leviathan on the battlefield here. So Vertex are just continuing to scout the map here, just doing some harassment. And we can see that Kaffu's continuing to go for his classic full ground build. 3 Thors are coming up. This is going to be the first attack that I launch here. And here we go. Let's see what the Thors hit. And we score a direct hit on Yellow's ground army. Yellow's army just gets decimated. So really nice hit from the Thors. And I'm going to be continuing to produce more Thors. So now it's no longer a secret to the resistance side. We have Thors at our disposal. Looks like Kaffu is going to push an assault now. He's got a combination of Zeus tanks with Torrents here. And as we're going to see in a little bit here, one thing that Dr. Kaffu is missing in this army is some Typhoons for backup in case of any sort of aviation. Now we can see that both resistance players are mostly going for ground builds, but again, there is a prototype factory and some potential for the Leviathan to come out, and just like that, here comes the Leviathan. and Dr. Kaffu has no counter for the Leviathan. Is about to fire that tactical nuke onto the army, and the tactical nuke scores a direct hit. Kaffu's army just gets decimated by the nuke, and it looks like the resistance side now starting to move in. My Vertex trying to score some hits on the Leviathan. Looks like a full army's moving in. Now, this is one of my mistakes for this battle. I should have moved my hammer tanks in to fully intercept this army, but instead I moved my hammer tanks out of the way. I was too dependent on my Thors to try and help me defend. So now I'm going to bring my Thors in. Let's see how the Thors do. Direct hits on the resistance army. Really nice hits there, but unfortunately resistance is going full attack here. We see Yellow's troops making their way towards the back of my base. The Leviathans coming in. We see Armadillos coming in as well. I'm starting to run out of hammer tanks. This is a lot of troops coming in straight for my base. So I need some help here. Dr. Kaffu's coming in with the Zeus tanks and the Torrents to help out. I've only got Thors left to defend with, so I'm going to try and score some bombing hits onto the ground troops as much as possible. So another flight of Thors goes up. We can see there's a handful of vehicles on the inside of the base that are left. My biggest concern right now is that Leviathan, though. Neither of us have any good counter for the Leviathans. I have no Vertex left, I have no Typhoons, and I don't have enough heavy assault to deal with the Leviathan. Leviathan's just continuing to dish out damage against my airfield. I'm going to lose another airfield. That is 4 different Thors that get lost. And those Thors are going to fly off the map. Tactical nuke hits the rocket towers that I've set up. And I'm going to lose the rocket towers as well that I set up for defense on the top of the hill. So now I'm going to drop a special vehicle factory so I can get a few Typhoons out as needed. Again, Dr. Kaffu here does not have any Typhoons in the mix, and is just continuing to chase around the Leviathan using Zeus tanks and the Torrents. So we see the resistance side starting to move in some reinforcements potentially, but we're able to cut off the reinforcements with Kaffu's army. Hammer tanks are now maneuvering around this cliff area. That Leviathan is continuing to just hover over the cliff top area, and we can see some fog activating on the map for the resistance side. Looks like Red's got a few troops in the mix there, trying to move in to harass my base here. Looks like that Leviathan has finally gone down. Looks like Kaffu is now able to mix in a few Typhoons. So now Kaffu's got a really nice army composition here. We got Typhoons, Torrents, and Zeus tanks in the mix together. So Kaffu is going to retreat temporarily. We can see that the top of my base is under attack here. I have an assault vehicle factory here that's just being shot at by a couple Jaguar tanks and porcupines. So I flag the base area and I tell Kaffu to send help. But once I scout the area, I realize there's only a few vehicles, and I have enough troops to take care of the vehicles. So I tell Kaffu to actually change tactics and take combat initiative to go after the yellow player. So I'm going to defend the top of the plateau here while Kaffu launches an attack. So I got hammer tanks and heavy assaults. This is enough to push Red off the plateau. Red's only got 4 vehicles left, and that's just not going to be enough. And we're going to try to chase after those last couple vehicles there. Meanwhile, even though I lost my airfield, I still have the level 3 Avia factory, so I'm going to be able to make some more Thors to replace the ones I lost previously. And here comes Yellow with a mole and a few tanks there. Fog gets activated, and now Kaffu's going to move in with his army. So I'm going to see if I can try to bomb the Chameleon Fog with my Thors. Looks like Yellow is doing a good job staying mobile, though, trying to avoid the fire from the Torrents. The Chameleon gets cleaned up, though, and now Yellow's units are out in the open. Here come my Thors. They are way too late, and they score a hit that is nowhere near close to the army. However, it looks like Kaffu doesn't really need help, though. His Zeus tanks are just punching through the defensive line for the resistance players. And it looks like the resistance side is in trouble now. These Zeus tanks and Torrents combined are just ripping apart the defensive line. Here come my Thors. We're going to see if we can take out that level 3 prototype factory direct hit on the factory, but yellow is probably on a gold common defense boost because my Thors are really strong, but they were not able to take out that factory, which was a surprise. So Kaffu's Zeus tanks continue to just move in onto the yellow player, and now my troops are going to join up as well, and now we've got plenty of troops that take care of the yellow player. Yellow desperately trying to reinforce their front line. These Taurants are now raining heavy fire on the factories. Yellow made the mistake of putting their factories in the front of the base. So in base deployment, you always want to put your factories in the back of the base. That allows you to produce units even when you're under fire. So another tactical nuke from the Leviathan that just came out. And we can see that my units here are just continuing to clean up the buildings. The hammer tanks making their way around the base while the Taurants dish out heavy damage against the buildings. More Thors coming in now. We've got 4 more Thors. We're going to score a building direct hit there. We only take out a couple infrastructure buildings though. And so we can see that we're at the top of the base now with my hammer tanks while Kaffu is at the middle of their base. And at this point, it's pretty much good game. The rest of this is really just us cleaning up the rest of Yellow's base. And I'm going to throw on some boosts for a contract. And Kaffu's going to flag the walls on the ground there. So on the ground there is a letter C. That's just for red to work on contracts. So the rest of the time is just me and Kaffu working on contracts while red also does the same. Alright, that's pretty much good game. Hope you all enjoyed this battle. We will see you in the next one. Good luck with your battles until then.